Hey, it's Annie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about the common mistakes that women make with their skincare, and I am speaking from experience because I've actually done some of this myself. So I want to share some of the mistakes I made so hopefully you don't make the same ones. And I'm not talking about products today. I'm not even mentioning products. So this is basic skincare knowledge that I wanted to share with you. I'm going to share a little bit first about my skincare journey, and then we're going to get right into it. And I have some notes because I want to make sure that I stay on track here, okay? When I turned 40, basically, I felt like my face fell overnight, okay? It just felt like, it's just crazy. Like one day my face is up and the next day my face is like, okay? And over almost 10 years, it took me to figure out what I was doing wrong. I couldn't figure it out. I thought maybe it was the makeup I was using too, because my skin was looking dry and I was trying all this different makeup and makeup brands that I used to like, that used to, things used to work for me. It wasn't working for me. And I was just like really, really struggling. I even tried clean skincare at the time because I thought maybe that's what it is. That's when I had that friend that was into all that clean skincare stuff, so nothing was working. Nothing was working. So then I really had to take a deep dive and see what I was doing with my routine. And basically what I was doing with my routine was part of the problem, because all I was doing is taking my makeup off, and sometimes I would use a toner, sometimes I wouldn't, and I would moisturize. I wasn't using sunscreen. I wasn't doing any of that, okay? Part of the problem, okay, that I had. So let me go through because I want to make sure that I get all of this in here. One of the things that I really messed up on when I was starting to figure out my skincare is I was overusing acids. I thought I had to use every single one. I am an overachiever, okay? And so I'm just like, well, if that's good, I need to use all of them. So I was using a lactic acid. I was using salicylic acid. I was using a glycolic acid. I was using all of them. And now I don't do that anymore. Right now in my cabinet, I just have one acid, and it's the Paula's Choice BHA. I love that one. I have oily skin, so it's really, really good with keeping my pores from getting blocked up with oils, which causes breakouts, okay? I also use it on my scalp, salicylic. I also use it on my scalp because I have seborrheic dermatitis. I can't speak. I have seborrheic dermatitis, although I have not had a flare-up since I started using it. It doesn't have to be Paula's Choice, but I'm just sharing. That's the one that I use, okay? I said this wasn't going to be about products, and I shared that. But anyways, so I just use one right now, and I do use peel pads from Sanitas, but I don't use them every day. I use an acid 3 to 4 times a week. That's about it. That's all I do, so I don't use it every day. The thing that's really changed for me is I pay attention to my skin, and I encourage you to do the same. If you're just starting your skincare routine or your journey, I know it can be very overpowering, or it can be very overwhelming, okay? It can be very overwhelming when you hear about all these products. You're like, which ones do I use? I don't know. I get that. I am going to tell you before the end of this video, I'm going to tell you what I think that's really important. And you can use whatever brands you want, okay? But you don't want to overuse your acids. I was doing that, and what's going to happen is you're going to irritate your skin. You're going to compromise your skin barrier. Don't do it. After I did that, it took me a while to get my skin better. So don't irritate your skin, and that's what you're going to do if you use too many acids. You can pick one of them. A lactic acid is going to be a little bit more hydrating. Like I said, salicylic acid is nice if you have oily skin. And then you have the glycolic acid that's helpful as well. They're all going to lightly exfoliate your skin. As we age, we don't produce that cell turnover that we do when we're younger. We don't naturally have that glowy skin, so we have to create it by the skincare choices that we use, okay? So don't over exfoliate. You have to be careful with topical granule exfoliants, if you will. I do have one from Kate Somerville that I like because it rinses off really good, and I don't find it to be overly aggressive. You don't want to overly aggressive use that stuff on your face, and that's something I don't even use every week. Maybe every couple of weeks I will use that, add it to my routine, but I don't use that very often, but I like it. So if you can find one that's mild, you could add that into your routine. You just really have to pay attention. I use that scrub when I feel like, oh, I'm seeing some flakies and my acid's not taking it off. That's when I will use my scrub. Another thing that a lot of people make this mistake, and I've seen big influencers say to do this, and this is a big no-no. It's really a big no-no. Don't put all of your skincare in your hand and then just put it on your face. I think Wayne Goss shared that one time. That's just not a very smart thing to do, especially when you're spending money on good skincare. My morning routine is a lot more complicated, or not complicated. My morning routine is a lot more, I do a lot more in the morning than I do at nighttime. That's when I do like a scrub or acid or whatever. What I do when I put something on is I let it sit for at least a minute. And then I will apply the next thing. And then I will apply the next thing. I know it's a pain in the butt, especially if you're like me and you have a lot of things. But believe me, you really want that to absorb into your skin before you just pile it all on. Because you're just wasting your time. You really need that to absorb into your skin for a little bit before you put the next layer on, okay? Another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you're washing your face in the morning and the evening. We'll talk about that in a second. You really should be washing your face in the morning. I know a lot of people don't want to do that because they say if they have dry skin, but there are hydrating cleansers that you can use that are not going to strip your oils. You really need to. If you're putting that skincare on at nighttime, it's still going to be on your face in the morning. You don't want to just slap stuff on. You've got to get that off. And if you're like me and you get hot sweats, night sweats, you got to get that off. You really need to clean that off, okay? So make sure that you're cleaning your skin in the morning. At nighttime, same thing. You've got to take that makeup off and you should be doing a double cleanse. I use really good cleansing balms, but even with that, I feel like I need to double cleanse. There have been times when I've gotten lazy and I didn't. And then I'm putting like a toner on. I'm like, yeah, my sunscreen's still there. Sunscreen's a little bit harder to get off. So I always use a cleansing balm. You could use an oil if you will, if you want to use something like that. Don't use those wipe things. It's just, they're not good for your skin. Use a balm or use a cleansing oil if your skin can take a cleansing oil. And then just massage it really good all over. Wipe it off and then go in and use another cleanser and just make sure that you get all of that off. Trust me, you really need to double cleanse, especially when you're pushing that makeup in. I mean, I got to get all this stuff off. Drinking enough water. Drinking water is very important for your skin. I drink about 3 of these a day, okay? So it's really, really important to be drinking a lot of water. It is a pain because I end up going to the bathroom a lot, okay? But trust me when I tell you, you really need to make sure that you are getting all of your water in every single day because it's going to hydrate your skin. It makes a big difference in your skin, especially I feel like in the winter months, but all year round. Drink plenty of water. This is a big one too, and so many people ask me about this, is applying in the wrong order. So the easiest way I can explain it to you is that I do it from thinnest to thickest. So I'm not going to wash my face, put my moisturizer on, and then put my serums on, okay? So what I do is, for example, in the morning, I will go ahead and you'll see, you're going to see some skincare videos, I think, before this with my whole routine, okay? But basically, I will wash my face in the morning. After I wash my face, that's when I'm going to go ahead and do whatever else I'm going to do. If I'm going to go in with my Clear Blend, I'll go in with that. I'm going to use my red light therapy. I'm going to go in with that. My facial massage, all of that, okay? Once that's out of the way in the morning, then I'll go in and I will use an acid if I need to use an acid. If I'm not using an acid that day, then I'll go ahead and use my vitamin C serum. And then after my vitamin C serum, whatever serums after that, I will use those because I want to use the thinnest to the thickest, okay? So then once I get through with my serums, then I will use my moisturizer. And after my moisturizer, the last thing that I use is my sunscreen. Now, so many people get confused with this because I do use a lot of times in the winter mostly, I will use a moisturizer as my makeup primer. So some people are like, well, wait a minute. If that's part of your morning routine, don't you put your sunscreen on last? Yes, I do. I put my sunscreen on last. In my skincare in the morning will be on for hours before I even put my makeup on, okay? A lot of times I don't start filming my videos for my channel until the afternoon. And I'm doing my skincare in the morning. So it'll have been sitting on for like 3-4 hours at least sometimes before I even put my makeup on. So I go ahead and then I will apply a moisturizer on top of that. So my sunscreen's already been sitting on and I'm doing that. So that's what I do in the morning. Then at nighttime, and I only use my vitamin C in the morning. I only use my acids in the morning. Because at nighttime is when I use, let me explain this. So in the morning, I only use my vitamin C serum. And I only use like my salicylic acid or my Sanitas pads. I will use those in the morning only. At nighttime is when I do, like one night I will do my retinol. And then the other night I will use my AHA acid. So I kind of alternate those at nighttime. But those are my only for nighttime. And then I always make sure that I'm hydrating my skin. The only time that I don't hydrate my skin is when I'm using my retinol because I use Truth treatments. And I just don't feel like I need to. So I don't hydrate my skin on top of my retinol. But I do on top of my acid. I do add a moisturizer on top of that. And my eye creams and my lips, stuff and all that, okay? My lash serum, I use that at nighttime. My brow serum, I use it at nighttime. But that's what I do, is thinnest to thickest. That's what I do. And again, you always want to make sure you get all that makeup off at nighttime. So if there's anything that I didn't address, because these are actually, like I said, this is something that I learned myself, okay? Because I wasn't really doing much skincare. I wasn't using sunscreen. I wasn't using acids. I was doing the bare minimum, and I got away with that for a long time until one day my skin said, honey, you need to start taking care of yourself. You know, there's peptides that I use. There's different skincare things that I use, but I will tell you, this is what's really important, okay? If you're just getting into skincare, you want to make sure that you're using skincare that's going to work with your skin type too. Like I have oily skin, you may have dry skin, you may have normal skin. It's a misconception, I feel like, that because you have mature skin that it's dry, because that's not true. We all have different skin, okay? And you can see I have a shine already to my face, and my makeup is, it hasn't been on very long, but it will get shiny, especially if I go outside, okay? But you want to make sure that you're using the right skin type for your skin. And the things that I feel like are really important for mature skin is using peptides, using vitamin C serum, a good vitamin C serum, and also sunscreen as well. And if your skin can handle it, because everybody's different, use a retinol. If your skin can handle that, that's great. But if not, vitamin C serum, peptides, sunscreen, make sure you're hydrating. Even if you have oily skin, that's another mistake that I made. Even if you have oily skin, make sure that you are hydrating your skin. I was not hydrating my skin when I was younger because I thought, oh, I have oily skin, I don't need to use a moisturizer. Yes, you do. Because oily skin is actually very, very dehydrated. So make sure that you are doing that. So I hope that I answered your questions. I am not a skincare expert, okay? I'm not. I'm just sharing some things that I've learned with my skincare on my skincare journey, and I'm just sharing it with you. It's just common knowledge, okay? It's common knowledge, but if you are new here or you're new to skincare, you may not know that, so I hope that this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate you joining me. If you're new here, would love to have you subscribe. Click that button below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And I will catch you guys all in my next video. Bye.